What up, Talkin fight fans? Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Knuckle Up with yours truly, Mike Orr. And we have a special guest for you today in the studio with us, and that is Joshuah Lupia. You might remember him from Wednesday at Rebel Entertainment, man, with that wonderful slugfest that he put on. Josh, thanks for coming to join us today, man. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule. I know you're nice and healed up now. I'm looking ready to, you're looking good. A lot better than you were that night after all that battery, man. Thanks again for joining us. So,
thanks for having me.
Definitely. So let's get right into it, man. I know you're in this you're in the Canadian boxing scene. Not too many people know that we have legit boxers, man, like yourself. You're sporting that nice undefeated record now, 7-0, 6 knockouts. Wow, how did it all start, man? What age?
What age? I was like 11 or 12 years old when I started, but I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu first, like MMA, and then I was doing Muay Thai, and then I switched to a club in Niagara Falls that did like everything. They had like an MMA gym, and they have boxing, so I started like boxing, Muay Thai, BJJ, and then after like 6 months, I was like, man, these UFC fighters don't make much money. And, like, this is like a lot of works, and I was just like boxing. I started veering towards that, and I was like, they make a lot of money, and I like it better, so I was like, all right, I'll do boxing.
Yeah, honestly, I went down the same road, BJJ, the Muay Thai. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. There's not too much action going on for that right now, and
it's a lot of work. Man.
It's a ton of work, man. It's ton. You gotta live in the gym for that stuff. So, what age did you actually start competing at?
I think my first fight was 12 years old. I had my first fight, amateur, and then I think I had, so like the way amateur works, you have under 10 fights, you're considered a novice. So I had like 6, and then they moved me to open class, and then within like a year and a half, I was at the provincial level, then national level. I think I won my first nationals in 2012, I think it was. So I would have been grade 9, so 13.
Wow,
it was pretty quick. I started quick.
Who are some influences growing up?
Like watching?
Yeah.
Mayweather, obviously, he was massive. As soon as I started boxing, that's why I was like, I was looking at his numbers, and I was like, okay, well, he's making it.
Yeah, weren't we all?
Yeah. But then once I started seeing everyone else's numbers, they still make better. So I was like, yeah. But Mayweather, Cotto, Shane Mosley, that whole era, Margarito, Pacquiao, those guys were who I grew up watching.
Who were the influences to turn pro?
Man, honestly, after my last nationals, I was just like tired of amateur. Not saying that like anything, like I got robbed or anything. Like I had a close fight in my finals of my last senior nationals. I was 17, and I fought some guy from Montreal who was like 27, 28. And we were in the finals. It was in Montreal, and whatever. It was a close fight, and he got the win. But then I was just thinking, I was just like, man, like I'm 17, and once I turn 18, I can turn pro. I was like, I don't want to just put it in the hands of these judges, because in Canada, people know it's pretty political and national and all that stuff. So I was like, let's just turn pro. I was with my coach, Chris Johnson, at the time, and he was big on me going pro anyways. So yeah, we just switched and went pro. And I like the Olympics. Olympics would be cool, but I don't know. It's not that cool to wait 4 years and then something bad does happen. So I see it all.
Wait another 4, maybe, right?
Yeah, it's a maybe always. If you're not French and if you're not French Canadian, it's tough. So
that's what a lot of people don't understand, man. Like Toronto had a great boxing history. We've had a great boxing heritage. All of Ontario has it, man. But it's like everything kind of floated over to the Montreal way, and everybody believes that Montreal is like that mecca of boxing for Canada, and they're not. Because you're getting all the fighters from the rest of Canada.
Yeah.
And, honestly, man, we gotta put it back on the map.
Well, they host those nationals, and it's like, man, if you don't knock them out, you get a close decision. It's probably not going your way. And then they implemented a new rule too. When I was on there, they're like, oh, even if you win, we get to pick who the best fighter is, which is fine. But when it makes sense to get a young kid who's turning 18 years old to be on the national team than some 28-year-old, that had a close fight with them. Because I was knocking everybody out that tournament, and I went to decision with him. But I was 18 knocking grown ass men out, So
you got the power.
Yeah, you should probably be putting that young kid on the national team, but whatever, doesn't matter.
Pro. Now you're pro, 7-0. What's some of the short term goals where you see yourself in like say a year or two?
We're trying to get. I want to be headlining cards in the next year, so I want to get to try to get to 10-0 before the end of this year. Lee's got me pretty busy, so if
Yeah,
Lee's got something lined up, we're in the works of something hopefully soon. So if that happens, it happens. But for sure, I'll be back in December at Rebel.
definitely. I'll be there for that one too.
Yeah.
I'll be ringside watching it for sure.
A year from now, I want to be. We gotta start. I want to get ranked, right? So
Yeah.
I want to get world ranked, and I think I'll be there in a year. We'll be like, we'll be able to get myself ranked pretty high up there. I want to stay busy. I missed 2 years, right? So well, free.
Yeah.
With COVID, and then what happened with my legs. So
yeah, you know what? COVID really put a damper on a lot of people's their climb in the career, and it's going to take a lot to bounce back for it. But you look like you're doing well at it, man, and it's just staying busy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you do get to that 10. That'd be nice to see before the end of the year.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest obstacle that you faced so far in boxing? Because I know there's a ton of politics, man, and especially here in Ontario. Well, what do you think is the biggest challenge that's come your way?
Finding a real gym to train at, finding real trainers, it was tough. Canada, like, no disrespect to like Canada, like the boxers in Canada, but it's like the US has everything. Like they're more advanced. They're more advanced than us in every sport. It's like so. I was training in Canada and everything was good, but I was like, man, I gotta go to the next level. Like, I mean, in Canada, we don't have the sparring, we don't have the amount of fighters that the US has. So
Right.
that obstacle, that took about 3 months to find a gym. I went to Miami first, spent like a month and a half in Miami, just going to gym to see how I liked it. I was by myself too. I was only like 20 years old doing this stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was just walking in blind to gyms. And then I took a trip out to Vegas. And then I was in Vegas for like 2 weeks and just training at gym, seeing how I liked it there. And then one of my buddies got in contact with the trainer I'm with right now, Marco Contreras, and he was like, "Yo, I got this kid. I was only 2-0 as a pro. Or I was 3-0, 2-0. I was 3-0." And he's like, "I got to get my buddy." He was like, "My buddy's 3-0, 3 knockouts. Like, can you take a look at him? He's in Vegas right now, but he'll come to Oxnard, California, and come to the gym." So Marco texted me. He was like, "Yeah, come through." So when I showed up there, Marco had a guy who was, I'm not going to name drop, but he was world ranked. He was I think he was the number one contender at the time for the WBO, I think it was, at 147. And I thought he was a 147-pound fighter at the time, which I learned quick. They're way too big. At least, well, back then they were too big for me. I was young. I was small. And I was only walking around like 154. So like,
oh wow,
no reason for me to think, and I was 140. I should be 147. Right. So they walk around like 190, 180. These guys, like, they're big dudes.
They're massive guys at that size, man.
Yeah. So Marco see me. He's like, okay, he's 6 foot tall. Maybe he weighs. Like, Marco was like, he probably weighs like 170. Like this guy weighed like 180 at the time. So we sparred, and we went at it for 6 rounds. We did like 6 hard rounds. And after that, Marco was like, "Yeah, you should stick around and train here." And he's like, "What do you weigh?" And then I was like 154. So Marco was like, "Yeah, you got to be 140." And then, but that was a huge obstacle. But then once I got there, it was super comfortable.
Yeah,
but it was tough, man. Going from gym to gym that young in the U.S., like the U.S., it's all dogs out there. There's 20 of you. Like you gotta, and every sparring match is a battle. It's not like nice, like relaxed sparring, respect. Guys are talking.
There's no respect, eh?
Yeah, everyone's trying to earn their spot, especially
exactly.
in Vegas. Where, like, everyone's talking shit and like trying to stand out there and whatever.
What's the biggest part about training that you hate?
Mm-hmm. I hate training. I don't actually hate it that much, but
honestly, that's an honest answer for real. That's an honest answer for real.
The thing I hate the most, I don't know, like probably just like cardio. Like when you got to do like long runs or some shit like that, it's like I'd rather just spar. Spar 8 rounds. It's like nice and easy. But yeah, cardio sucks, man. Like when you're doing like long distance stuff, or like if you got like I do strength and conditioning. Like my schedule is pretty pretty strict, but I work out twice a day, 5 days a week. And so we got strength and conditioning in the morning and then boxing at night. But the strength and conditioning is like dreadful because like you wake up and you do a workout and stuff like that. But when I'm in California, I like training. I don't mind it. It's when I'm home when I'm like, you're in your comfortable bed and like I got my cat.
Don't want to get out of it.
Yeah, you're just like, I don't feel like training. But in California, I got no distractions, so like I don't mind it. But still, the strength and conditioning is like it's tough. It's tough to like want to get into and actually want to do it. But I got a trainer there that pushes me to do that. So
definitely, you definitely need the push, right?
yeah,
That's awesome. So what's a long-term goal? Like where do you see yourself at the end of this when you're ready to hang it up? What's
I'm definitely in it to make a career out of it for sure. But I think it's realistic for me to win a world title. Like, I'm doing all the right things. I'm with the right people. I train with guys that are there and guys that have been there. So, it's like I'm seeing how they did it and learning from them. And when you're in that atmosphere, it seems very possible when you're with those people. If they've done it, I'm doing all the same things they did. So
right.
Yeah.
Your last fight Wednesday. It was only Wednesday, right? Like wow, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
It was only last week Wednesday against Reyes. Yo, can you run us through that fight a little bit? Break it down for us, man. That was some crazy rounds, man. That went down in that fight.
Yeah, a lot of people respected me after that fight if they didn't respect me before. So, but yeah, we didn't know much about him. We knew he was 3-0.
Right.
We didn't know he was on the Mexican amateur national team. So obviously he's got probably a lot of amateur experience.
Yeah.
We found that out when I was at the weigh-ins. He was wearing the sweater.
Ugh.
And Marco's Mexican, so Marco knew right away. Marco's Mexican American, so Marco was like, "Oh yeah, he's on the." So we knew all camp though, like 3-0. The guys he's fought, he's beat some decent guys, so he's not like a slouch. And we didn't want a slouch. I wanted to be tested. So yeah, we trained. We were ready, but we didn't know he was also 6'1". Like. I didn't think he was taller than me, but that wasn't a big deal either because I was sparring with my last 2 sparring sessions were the guys that were a little bit taller than me, so it actually worked out perfect. But yeah, we were expecting a tough fight, and then once that bell rang and I seen him come out the way he was standing with his style, I was like, yeah, this guy's not a slouch. He's definitely here to fight, and yeah, man, he's fast. Like,
yeah,
when you snap the jab out, I was like, because usually like my jab is just like I got a fast jab and like.
Yeah.
I usually out jab people. I still out jab them, but like I was like, man, when threw his first jab, I was like, okay, he's in shape too, like, and he could crack. But yeah, the first 2 rounds were like okay. I was kind of like patient still and not throwing too much, and then the 3rd round, he landed some good shots, and I took him, and then that was just showing everybody like I can take a punch too.
Oh fuck, you fucking ate him, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got some good shots of that too, man.
Yeah.
You ate some, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. People were like after that fight, they're like, man, you could take a shot. And so I was taking those shots, and then we went back to the corner in the 3rd round, and Marco was like, yo, you need to step on the gas. You took it easy there, and he took advantage of that, and he landed some big shots on you. Mm-hmm. I was like, all right. So at the 4th round, when the bell rang, I just pushed the fight, and I came out like I didn't even, he landed some big shots that 3rd round where people were like, Josh is probably done, and then I just came out like 4th round, just firing and just taking it. It was like whatever.
It was like a different. It was like you flipped a switch.
Yeah,
so
that's what everyone
you went back a little tired, and then it was like you just bang, and then you were right at it. And you just came
like a turning point. Like the crowd was going insane when I was doing it. And I dropped him at the end of the 4th.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know, man. I spar with dogs, so it's like I never panicked. It's like I was taking those shots, but like I'm used to that. I'm sparring with real fighters,
right?
Like guys that are fucking high up there in the world, and then guys that are just like they're not bums. Like I get versatile sparring, so I get guys that could crack. I get guys that could box. Like so, like I'm used to that. I was just like I was ready. I did a lot of rounds of sparring before this fight because I fought last in July, and like that was like a quick training camp. I only spent 3 weeks with my trainer, Marco. I was in Florida before that with a doctor, just doing rehabilitation. Like it was all over the place. We were really scrambled. And then this fight was like we had 6 weeks to actually just buckle down and actually get a proper training camp after a 3-year layoff of fighting. So it really showed. Like I was ready. Yeah, when I was getting hit, I just didn't panic. Like my trainer didn't panic. He knew I was okay. Everyone was good. We were pretty calm the whole time. When I watched back the film, I'm like, shit, like that could have went bad, but
no, you did. You handled yourself under that pressure, man. You regrouped, came back. Honestly, I just thought you were taking a bit of a breather round. That's all. You're taking a bit of a breather, caught a couple shots. You were like, who cares? I got a good chin. And then came out and just destroyed him. So, yeah, no, it was a great fight. To all the fans out there, yes, you can check that out. It is on this channel, so make sure you watch that fight. It's a great one. Yeah, so what what's a day what was the day like in camp going into this one? You said the last one was kind of short, 3 weeks. What was the camp like going into this one?
The camp for this one was it was just done proper. I went out in end of July, so like basically right after my fight. I just flew back out, so I was I'm still in shape, right? I was in good shape, but I started a nutrition plan with Greg, the nutritionist. Lee introduced me to him. He's out in the UK, so he started doing my nutrition. He does nutrition for a lot of like top athletes in the UK and boxers. And then so we started the nutrition plan. That made a big difference. And then my schedule was so strict, and I don't skip days of training unless like I'm like super sick or something like that. But yeah, we had like such a good camp. No injuries really, nothing really wrong. So everything was like just like done proper to a T. And we just slowly started increasing the rounds of sparring, and we were trying to spar 3 days a week, and we were getting that. And I was getting work with all different kinds of styles and all that stuff. And then the last 2 weeks were just like intense. We went really intense with sparring and all the training. But yeah, I wake up, do my strength and conditioning in the morning, then I nap throughout the day, and then around 5 p.m. I'm in the boxing gym. And then so that's 5 days a week, and then it's just Saturdays we just do strength and conditioning, and then I get Sundays off.
Wow. So the nutritionist, do you like it? It's a new thing. Yeah. Do you feel more energy, more energetic, more like
I had so much energy. I felt strong, felt healthy. It makes a big difference. Obviously, it depends on which nutritionist you use. Like, because I know people that use nutritionists and they hate it. And but using Greg, I don't know, it was the best. And he had me eating lots. Like I was eating great. I was eating good food. I was eating lots, and I never felt weak. I never felt deprived. Like even leading right up to weigh-ins, he had me eating like a lot, and I made weight no problem. Like weight wasn't even an issue, and I was like, I was in the best shape I've probably ever been in. Like I felt great, and even after the 6th round of that fight, I felt like I could do 8 no problem. I was so fine. I wasn't even breathing that heavy at the end of the round. I was like. So Marco, first thing he said to me, he said, "How do you feel? You tired?" I was like, "Honestly, I could do more." I was like, obviously that was a crazy fight. It was a tough fight. So, but yeah.
Yeah, man. You could go a few more rounds. So what's the next? So the next fight you're looking for is it going for 8? Next one?
Yeah, we're stepping up to 8. Yeah, the next one December for sure is going to be 8, and we got a few good opponents. It's going to be another good fight. We don't really want to fight any slouches. Like I don't want to. We want to move on.
Man. That's one thing. That's one thing Canada that I've noticed with a lot of Canadian boxers is you guys really pick and choose who you're gonna fight because you don't want these these padded, fluffed records and just beating these nobodies, because when it comes down to it, once we hit that international stage, it sucks that I have to say this, but we get slept on, and our fighters don't get the recognition, and it's almost like we have to prove ourselves a little more than everybody else because Canada is so not involved in the whole international boxing scene. So, I commend you for doing what you do, man, because honestly, you guys fight tough opponents. Like you guys step it up every fight. You're not looking to fight some guy equal. You're looking to fight a guy better so you can be better, move up them. Is it hard to always do that? Like fight that style, or just?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's whatever, because I don't know. Being out in Cali just makes you more comfortable with it when you're sparring with guys that are just that good, you know. So it's like when you come here, it's kind of a breeze to fight these fights. Like even though that was a tough fight, I still never like at one point felt where I should have been worried or anything like that. But yeah, some people in Canada, they stack their records, they pad them and stuff like that. Like it's just
man.
like
Yeah.
you're only cheating yourself. And like if you're good and you got it, then fight the guys, man. So because like at the end of the day, you could be 15-0 with 15 knockouts, but you're fighting these stiffs. And there's 10 other guys in the US that are signed to these major big like promotion companies that did the same as you. So it's like you don't stand out at all. And you're some Canadian guy. It's like, do you sell? Like, no, these guys, you got these guys out there that are selling arenas and stuff. So like, but if you're some guy 15-0 and you're fighting these serious fights, and you're gonna be ready for anybody at that point, because like if you keep stepping up the level of competition, you're only gonna get better. There's so much I just learned from that fight and going 6 rounds for the first time ever. Like that's all important. Like the experience and everything that I'm getting from this is great. So I'll never complain, man. Like fighting these tough fights and winning them and coming on top, it's like, you know, I'm only getting better. So
which for everybody out there who doesn't know who you are, definitely they're gonna find out who you are eventually. What fight do you think would best describe you as the boxer that you are out of all of your 7 victories so far?
Of all of them, well, since the change in my life, definitely the last one.
Okay.
People are definitely wondering about my leg and stuff like that and how it works. I don't notice nothing, but that last fight would just show that I could fight. If I don't knock someone out and stuff doesn't go my way, I'm mentally strong still. You know, a lot of people would be defeated that they're hitting these guys with their best shots and these guys are taking them. But there's guys out there like that, man. They'll take everything you hit them with. So like, yeah, you just got to be mentally strong. So I just showed that I could take a shot too, and I'm down to go to war. My face was all busted up and whatever. It's like, it's just,
man.
So,
your face is busted up.
That last fight proved me to a T. Like, and then Steve Mulder was saying on the broadcast, like after the 3rd round, he was like, they're like, that was a rough round for Lupia, and Steve's like, yeah, but like one round's not gonna change Josh.
Exactly.
There's something about the fight or something like that, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I was beside them while they were commentating on it. Yeah, definitely, I agree with them 100%, man. That that 1 round, nothing. But so hopefully, December we'll see you on a card. That's gonna be great, man. I can't wait to see who you're gonna be fighting. I know you're gonna announce it eventually, and we'll all get to find out who's the next victim in front of you. Do you remember the first that feeling you got the first time you laid somebody out in the ring?
Knocking someone down?
Yeah, just like that cold, that sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I was young. I was knocking guys out as an amateur. So it was like the first one I had was I think I only had like 10 fights, and I dropped the kid pretty hard at a club show in Niagara Falls. So it was in my hometown. It was our club show. That was a cool feeling, and I actually rocked the kid bad. He didn't go to sleep, but he went down pretty hard, and his legs were gone. And I was like, that was They used to tell me, like trainers and stuff used to tell me, like, oh, like not once you start knocking people down, like there's no better feeling, especially in your hometown and stuff. And when I did that, that was pretty cool. But yeah, you never really forget. Right. But then like I was a kid too, and like guys would come in the gym like grown men, and then I'd be like 14 and 15, and we'd be dropping them and stuff like
banging them out. Hey?
Guys that box though, like they boxed and they would want to spar, and it's just like, okay, like I wouldn't have sparring because sparring was tough to get to.
Right.
So my trainer at the time would just throw me in there, and I would spar with these men. I'd drop them with left hooks to the body, or I'd be just smashing them, and they just take a knee or something. Like I was still little, so. But yeah.
That's awesome, man. I love that. That's great stories. Knocking old men out when you're 14 and you're still doing it today. That's great.
Yeah.
and now you get paid for it.
Yeah. It was like killer mentality. You gotta have that killer mentality. I had that as a kid. My brother had it. There's a few other guys at the gym that had it. But yeah, we would just, whoever they put in there, it's like, go to town. Do what you gotta do.
That being said, do you want to be loved or do you want to be feared?
Yeah, I'd rather be feared.
Right. I ask a lot of people that, man, and honestly, they go the other way. They say love, man. I like to hear when a guy says, "Yo, feared, man." Fear us up in Canada, people. Fear us.
When you install fear into people, they act a lot different.
Yeah.
People can change up a lot when they get feared, when they're feared, right? Yeah. Well, the love will come. The love will come.
the love will come when they fear you. That's it, man. Make them all fear, then they'll love you because they have to. They have to.
Yeah.
Just, Well, Josh, honestly, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I know you got to get a nap in probably before you get to the gym or something like that with that 2-day training stuff that you do. So, yes, thank you again for coming and join us here on Talk and Fight and my show, Knuckle Up, man. It was an honor to actually talk to you and meet you. Great performance last week. I can't wait to see you back at Rebel in December, man. Definitely going to be a big one. I can't wait to see you smash somebody out again.
Thank you.
But yes, to all the Talk and Fight fans who joined today, thank you for tuning in to today's special episode with my special guest today, Josh Lupia. Thank you again, brother. It was my pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Guys. Let everybody know where they can hit you up on your Insta and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
man.
I just use Instagram, Joshua _Lupia. That's all my platforms. I only usually use Instagram. Yeah, follow me on there.
Guys, you heard it here, man. It's your man, Mike Orr, saying we'll see you next time. Knuckle up.
Thank you.